What's the deal, family? It's Darius with Revere Estates, and we're back at the Littlefield project, where we completed a rehab project that we have for about 2 years right now. We essentially couldn't sell it. We had to do a couple of different price reductions, but now we're projected to close next week at $70,000. And the reason I really wanted to create this video was to bring some transparency, right? On this deal, I actually lost $15,000, and I wanted to provide some tips and lesson learned on actually how this was a bad deal from the get-go. All right, so the first area where I lost money at was on this roof. We had a contractor, we vetted him, he was credible, he was accountable, we had references, but he just didn't do a good job on the roof. He didn't do a good job tarping the roof, so when it rained, during the rainy season, we was rehabbing this house, so when it rained, the whole inside of the house got wet and we had to replace all the drywall and insulation. That's high cost. I actually had to replace this small roof twice because that same roofer did not use flashing and the inside got wet again. So I had to make repairs in the inside, and I also had to replace this roof twice. They had to tear it all off and put it all back on. That costed me about 25 to $2 grand. Now I'm gonna show y'all another costly mistake that I made, and it wasn't even really added value to the project. It was one of them inexperienced things that I did that I thought was really gonna add value, but it really added none, right? I was rehabbing this house like it was my own, right? So for me, this is a ring system, ring camera system. I had a automatic door lock where you can put the keypad code in. But this is all intrinsic value to the property. This does not add value to the appraisal of the home or an inspection. So for me, I spent about $1,000 adding technology to this house that really didn't add any value. I mean, it would add value to the end buyer, but essentially, I didn't have to pay for this added cost. So on a deal like this, if you flipping any houses, I wouldn't add any special camera or modifications to it. I would only focus on the things that's gonna add value to the house, which is kitchen, bathrooms, making sure the house looks really nice. All right, so utilizing the 0.5 mile radius to find your comps is great because it's close to the vicinity of your project. You could actually go up to 1 mile when you're doing single family residential, but when you're investing in the Detroit market, it's a bit unique because 0.5 mile radius can change you into 2 totally different neighborhoods. You can go from a good neighborhood to a bad neighborhood at 0.5 miles. I was using a 3-bedroom, 1.1 bath comp to my 3-bedroom, 1 bath comp, thinking that I could essentially get that same price. But I had to find out the hard way, and I didn't get that price. I actually had to sell for about $40,000 less than the price that I was looking to get. So when you're investing in Detroit, make sure you're working with someone experienced that has knowledgeable about the city, because a 0.5 mile radius might not be good enough to suffice as a good comp that could essentially be the sale price for your property.
So as you can see, this is a beautiful house. But if I would have done my market analysis accurately, I would have identified that this type of rehab is not efficient for this type of neighborhood. I essentially over-rehabbed this house, which meant I put too much money into an asset that would not appreciate in value based on the comps in the neighborhood. So essentially, before you're doing any fix and flip project, you always want to identify comps, because these comps are going to tell you your after repair value, which means that this is the price that you're going to get when you sell the property.
All right, so one more thing that cost me a lot of money, which was changing my exit strategy midway through the project. Essentially, our first exit strategy was to fix and flip this property. We changed it, well, I changed it to do a buy and hold to turn it into an Airbnb. But once I got into the meat and potatoes of actually doing an Airbnb, I saw that this market that we're in would not be able to bring in the amount of revenue needed to create the return on investment that I needed. So I essentially went back to my original plan, which is to fix and flip. But I could have saved myself $2,500 by not having to do this special wallpaper, not having to put these nice ceramic floors down, and that $2,500 could have went into my pockets profit. All right, I feel like the biggest mistake I made on this project was actually investing in this deal in the first place. Knowing what I know now, having the mentorship, having the knowledge, this deal was a bad deal from the start. So for anybody that's looking to invest in real estate, I always recommend get the education and get the mentorship so you don't make these $15,000 mistakes.